I'll be honest with you, Disgaea 6 on Switch isn't a simple game to review. On its own, it's a perfectly fine strategy game that goes out of its way to try and be accessible to anyone that wants to pick it up. But as a sequel to a long-running series, it leaves much to be desired with its changes to the Disgaea formula. In this video, I'm going to do my best to gauge the game from both perspectives so both newcomers and fans alike will know what they're getting into. Let's start with what Disgaea even is. It's a grid-based strategy RPG where you have to take out all enemies with your own characters, and there's often environmental obstacles in your way like high ledges or hazardous floor panels you'll have to get through that require you to use your head. The game gives you a pre-selectable cast of characters, and you can even create your own to make your own ideal party. The series is known for being over the top in every way, from characters to animations to level scaling, but there's often heartwarming stories underneath the surface of the humor and zaniness. Our main character this time around is the zombie Zed. He's out on a mission to defeat an all-powerful and borderline invincible being known as the God of Destruction, that like his namesake leaves a trail of destruction in his wake wherever it goes. What makes this interesting is that zombies in Disgaea are bottom of the rung on the power ladder, and even a normal person like you or I will be able to defeat them with ease. So it creates an interesting dynamic watching Zed, a member of a powerless race of creatures, be hell-bent on taking down this force in nature that leaves literal entire worlds devastated in his wake. I personally found Zed to be one of the more interesting main characters the series has seen, and I liked him overall. He has his reasons for wanting to take down the God of Destruction, and it serves as the main backbone of the game's entire story. Over the course of the story, you'll meet a cast of colorful and wacky support characters that join Zed in regular Disgaea fashion, and while none of them were weak characters per se, I didn't find any of them nearly as compelling as Zed himself. Now earlier, I said Disgaea 6 leaves much to be desired as a standalone new entry in the series, and while this is true, and I'll get into why in a minute, I want to stress that at its core, this is the Disgaea you know and love if you're a longtime fan. The spirit of Disgaea is here, from the wacky character interactions, to the hilarious item descriptions, to the music, to the references to pop culture littered everywhere.
Who do you think you are? Can't you see we're in the middle of the darkest assembly? My word! What in Hades' name are those worthless guards doing? Letting such a disheveled zombie wander in here.
Oh, those guys are out like a light. Probably enjoying a good old nightmare right about now.
Don't be ridiculous. As if the likes of you could ever take out those level 999 What? All of the guards? Taken out?
But there's numerous changes not only to the combat, but the game's systems and more. The biggest change being the shift from 2D sprites to 3D models. When the initial reveal of the game happened, many were torn on this change, and I was open to the idea of them trying something new. But after having played the game, I sadly have to say the shift to 3D was a mistake. There's two big reasons for this. The first being that the Switch can't handle all the 3D models that can appear on certain stages and lags as a result. Now thankfully the game comes with 3 graphics quality modes, but none of them are as optimal as they should be. Graphics mode prioritizes graphics, but you'll experience horrendous, borderline unplayable lag in both the hub world and stages. Performance mode stabilizes the frame rate to a usually perfect 30, but makes the entire game much more blurry as a result. Balance mode, as it sounds, tries to be the perfect medium between graphics and performance, and it works well enough most of the time, but there are certain stages where I still experience lag. And these performance issues are present in both handheld and dock mode for those that may be wondering. The other big issue with going to 3D is that the over-the-top animations the series is known for were sacrificed as a result. Past games used 2D sprites, so it was easy to make crazy animations to go along with them, since all you had to do was twist and turn the sprites that were usually already in the game for other animations. But moving to 3D graphics means you have to actually animate that 3D model moving along with whatever insane attack they're pulling off, and the result is mostly underwhelming special attacks compared to what the series has seen before. There's a couple standout ones, but overall I found most of them forgettable, and they completely removed team attack animations, which is a massive bummer. And I feel that was a common theme throughout my time with Disgaea 6, the removal of features that often felt like mistakes or unnecessary. Like they wanted to remove or change things for the sake of trying something different and not necessarily moving the series forward. I constantly felt every time I found a good change, I found 2 negative ones to go with it. A big example of this is the entire removal of weapon skills, making weapons as a whole severely less important and interesting than they were before, and giving your characters less of a move pool to pull from. And it'd be one thing if it was just a couple features removed, but there's a lot, like tower skills being gone, the magi change system where monsters could turn into weapons for humanoid characters, that's gone. Buffing spells are also removed, and that's just a few of the numerous removed features I can name. And it would be a different story if these features were removed to improve the overall experience of Disgaea 6 in comparison to its predecessors, but they don't. They simply take away features that would have improved Disgaea 6 and don't bother to replace them with anything that could take their place. The game also has issues in the audio department, as oftentimes when performing attacks, audio will lag behind the animations. This seems to happen mainly with team attacks as well. You'll want to use headphones if you're playing in handheld mode as well, as the audio from the Switch's speakers are severely low for some reason with this game, to the point maxing out the volume sounds like what would only be halfway for other games. On top of these audio issues, I didn't find any particularly memorable songs in the game, besides maybe the hub theme, which was a disappointment to me considering the series has had very strong music in the past. Now I know I just got through listing a plethora of negatives, but I do want to stress that Disgaea 6 is not a bad game, and that most of those negatives wouldn't be noticeable to someone new to the series. Even under all those issues, I enjoyed the game for what it was from beginning to end. While not being very challenging overall, a few stages did pose a challenge, and it was rewarding finishing them after carefully planning out the best way to maneuver my characters. And despite removing so many features, a couple new ones were added, the biggest being Super Reincarnation. This actually ties into the plot of the game, as every time Zed challenges the god of destruction and dies, he reincarnates and gets stronger every time. And you can have your character super reincarnate to start over at level 1 with higher stats than they did in the previous life. I'll be honest, I didn't feel the need to mess with this while playing through the story, but you're of course free to abuse this to your heart's content. And that itself has been one of the strong points of this series that's still alive here, maybe more so than ever. You're free and often encouraged to abuse the game's various systems to fit whatever playstyle you want. There's a literal cheat shop where you can decrease and increase how much EXP, money, class experience, and more you obtain from battles. You can grind your characters and item levels up in the optional item world dungeons, and now there's even a shop called the Juice Bar where you can directly increase specific stats of characters with materials called extracts. Your experience and your characters can be as unique and as powerful as you want them to be, and that insane level of customization and personalization is one of, if not the game's strongest aspects. With Disgaea 6, it's clear the devs want to try something new to breathe fresh life into the series, and I unfortunately don't think they succeeded. Instead of being a step forward for the series, it felt more like an experimental title that didn't work out. I liked Disgaea 6, but it was a game I wanted desperately to love, but ultimately could not. If you're someone that hasn't tried the series before and are still interested after hearing all my negatives about the game, then go for it. If you're a longtime fan, temper your expectations. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and that I helped you decide whether Disgaea 6 was worth your time or not. The goal for 2021 is to reach 5,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and with your help, I know we can do it. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you later.